Hi, everybody. I want to welcome everybody here. Tonight's our first night being live on Instagram, so this is a new experience for us, as well as Zoom and Facebook. So we're going to talk about change and loving ourselves through change and loving other people as we change, okay? We're going to postulate and throw out there that change can be wonderful. Are you worried about anything in your life? I'd ask the group outside of this room. Are you worried about something, anything? And most of us are going to say yes. Most people are worried about something. The first thing to know is it's somewhat normal to be concerned about things that are happening in your world. You'd probably be abnormal if you didn't have some of it. But the thing is, if you are habitually going there towards what's wrong and what's wrong with life, and if you're going toward worry, if you're doing that habitually, you're going to head into trouble. Common things that people worry about will be things like their weight, their health, their blood pressure, their jobs. They worry about their business or lack of business, their girlfriends, their boyfriends. They're wondering if they're going to make it. Many feel like it's too late for them, they're too old, they're stuck, or that they'll never get anywhere. There's a lot of that. You know, there's an underlying current that's with most people that, you know, it's like, I don't count and I'm not good enough. My life doesn't matter. So, you know, it's easy to get into those places in consciousness. I'm going to quote tonight, since I'm quoting younger people and different people. This person is not one of the younger ones, but I'm going to quote Madonna. Madonna said, "No matter who you are, no matter what you did, no matter where you come from, you can always change and become a better version of yourself. We," she said, "must embrace change. We have talked of the human knowledge curve before in our classes and our Sunday service. The idea in that theory is human knowledge doubles now every single day. It used to be it took 100 years for it to double. And then it was every generation and every decade. Now all of human knowledge, we think, it's postulated, it's staggering. It doubles every single day. So how the heck are we going to be able to meet this kind of change? The changes, they're happening, and you know something, you don't have to like it. It would be smart of you to learn to embrace it, because you certainly can't stop it. Nothing's ever going to be as it was before, so embracing change is a superpower. And we're using words like superpower because we're bringing ourselves out of the past and we're bringing ourselves into the present. I watch all the Marvel movies, and I hear of all the abilities and superpowers. And so we're learning to embrace change as a superpower. Your superpower will be embracing change. And your ability to do so is going to determine, you know, whether you're going to succeed in your goals and how successful you're going to be in any and every area of your life. So with a superpower, this superpower, we must develop flexibility. And that's ability that we really need to work on. Your flexibility and your willingness to change, to be open-minded, will be the great indicators of your success going forward in any area of your life. When I was younger, I heard the expression, "take the pause that refreshes." And I was thinking about that the past couple of days when I was preparing this talk. In this lesson, I thought, where the hell did that come from? And I looked it up, and because I didn't realize, you know, what it was, just always knew it. I thought it was a cigarette commercial. I thought, well, I can't use that for a self-healing class. But it was from Coca-Cola, and it was 80 years ago. They were way ahead of their time with that one, suggesting to everybody and recommending to take a pause and a time out, to do your affirmations, to become centered in the truth, to meditate, to learn the affirmative way of living that we teach here is such a smart thing to do. So Coca-Cola, again, in that regard, was way ahead of their time. In 2020, pause has a much different meaning, as you all know. We've heard a lot these days about taking a pause. putting everything on pause. This whole New York City has been put on pause for months. But back then, it was the pause that refreshes. And today we can think of stopping the racket. The racket. Now that comes from another group that I've had some experience with. The racket is the inner dialogue that goes on within you, all the conversations that are self-defeating, and having the courage to change and stop the negative chatter. What a difference that pause could do for you if you could simply slow down that chatter. It can restore us to right thinking, that pause. If you can just take a breath. I've been in the 12-step programs now for 40 years as of next month, knock on wood, and they used to say, think the drink through. And what they were trying to get people to do would be just to think before you take the next step, before you do the next thing. Another slogan was act, don't react. See, it's real easy to react and be reactive, but it's not terribly intelligent, and it won't take you where you want to go. So tonight, one of your superpowers and abilities for change will be the ability to pause. Take the pause that will refresh and slow yourself down. From my 12-step background, it says this type of pausing, this type of surrendering can restore us to right thinking or to sanity. And I never liked the suggestion that I wasn't, I didn't exhibit right thinking or I needed to be restored. But the fact of the matter is, many of my decisions then were very much in question and they were pretty crazy. So taking that breath, that pause can allow us to connect with the truth of who you are. If you slow down and you're moving too fast, you can recollect yourself and you can realize the truth that you are as God created you in the light, the love, and the glory. You can awaken to the truth of who you are. There's an old expression, and I love this one, is I'm only responsible for the second thought. Because the first thought could be me wanting to retaliate or be angry or something. I'm only responsible for the second thought. Anyone can be in reaction. In fact, most of people live that way. You might observe it. People react all over the place. It's like the world's gone crazy. It doesn't need to be your way, okay? Just because they're doing it, it doesn't mean you have to be that person. You can be a source of calm and peace in the middle of any storm. If you are ready to really embrace change, a superpower to embrace for the super attractors that you are learning to be, then start practicing pause. Take a deep breath and pause and tell yourself, as Louise so eloquently used to say, all is well. During this pause, you can allow yourself to get your bearings, and you can remember as we breathe and breathe in deeply, all is well, all is well. Thank you, Louise, for that. We can practice this pause, and we can be in new moments. It's one of my favorite things, the idea of being in a new moment without prejudice. Because if most of us are carrying around what Ernest Holmes talked about, a lot of dead wood, we carry all of our past interactions with people into present moments, making it damn near impossible to be present with anybody in a new way because we carry so much. So let's go for the pause and know that all is well and attempt to be in a new moment as a way for loving ourselves and embracing change. Our critical thinking is or can be our downfall because our critical thinking is all of the stories that we carry within us about everything. I want to ask the group a question tonight. Do you want to thrive? Do you really want to thrive? Would you like to have your visions come true? And I'm sure you're going to say, of course. Do you want to thrive in every area of your life? And you hopefully are saying yes, yes, and yes. Well, the universe is designed for you to win, so that's the good news. You can thrive. You're destined to thrive. You will thrive. And there's no upward limit to your ability to thrive. You may need instruction, though. There's more learning involved. Louise Hay got her education right here at our center. She was taught by the best. I'm very fortunate to be the fourth in the line of the people who have been the pastors of this place. We now call ourselves spiritual leaders. But Louise got her education here. And she said it's all very simple. And she wrote the book, You Can Heal Your Life. And in it she says, I cross all bridges with joy and ease. And I thought, well, that has not been exactly my reality. But certainly understand what she's saying. I cross all bridges with joy and ease. Talk about a success. I don't know too many people in the past century that were any more successful than Louise Hay became. And what a lovely person also. She lived her truth, and she helped millions upon millions of people. So it might help to think that you cross all your bridges and your obstacles with joy and ease. When I was a younger person, I called my father every morning, and with all my problems, because I was in business and I had lots of problems, and every morning he'd say, good morning, Gregory, what exciting challenges do you have today? And I thought, oh, he's heading me off at the pass here. He's wanting me to view my circumstances as exciting challenges. And so that's the way I started to reframe my experiences. Listen, I've been given a lot of gifts. I mean, really, and I just staggering amounts of gifts. And they come through right thinking. If you can view your problems as exciting opportunities, oh, the places you will go. We teach here that there is power available to you and you can use it. And as I'm going over this talk, I look at 3 life-altering principles that we can employ to embrace change. Okay, and things you can do to heal your life, to lift your vibration. Tonight's class principles are nurturing the willingness to let go. Let go of everything that doesn't serve you. People, places, and things. When I was in recovery from 1980, they told me I need to change my playgrounds and my playmates. Letting go of the things that didn't serve me. One of the affirmations that Louise Hay taught in the book, You Can Heal Your Life, or one of the things she suggested we do when we're dealing with something that's difficult, is say, I release the need for such and such situation. And then proclaim, that there is clarity here and that you're supplied and supported. So I would suggest when you're trying to nurture the willingness to let go, utilize that phrase, I release the need for whatever it is, and let the universe reveal to you what it is for you to know and to do. The second thing I've already mentioned tonight is start practicing pause. Act with intelligence after pause. Remember, you're only responsible for the second thought, okay? We're not saints here, but we practice here. We have a teaching and we practice, and the more we practice, the better we get at it. And the better we get at it, the more our life changes. And it doesn't have to take years. Louise was asked by a lady once who thought her whole life was a disaster, where would I begin? I'm such a mess. And she would say, it's like cleaning a house. You begin where you are, one room at a time, one place at a time. So, number 3, how this power comes to us as we learn, how this power can come to us in a greater way when we learn self-forgiveness. When you learn how to forgive yourself and forgive others, you become much, much, much more powerful. We have unlimited power at our disposal. Imagine, you can have as much good in your life as you can conceive and visualize. You don't have to force anything. As all the new thought leaders have been teaching, and I was reading Gabby Bernstein this week, she said, we don't force, we allow. Well, that's been said by everybody. She's saying it now in 2020 or 2019. We have to learn how to lift ourselves out of the world of dog-eat-dog, competition of any kind, and ideas of scarcity and lack. It's hard for many of us, you know, because we've been taught so much different, okay? We're on an inner journey. When you come into a book like this, into a teaching like this, we understand that we're not dealing with the outer world, we're dealing with the inner world. We're hardwired in some of these areas. So, as Louise would say, it's all very simple. She never said it was always easy. You can teach this teaching to children. As a matter of fact, we had a children's program, and it's illustrated usually with a stagecoach. And in front of the stagecoach is a team of wild stallions. And if you can imagine a stagecoach today, many of you probably don't remember what they are, but in the Wild Wild West, they had them, and you had horses in front of them. And if you can imagine in 2020, it's all decked out with, you know, leather, and you can pull down the shades, and it's got 5G, and it's got Wi-Fi, and your coach represents your comfort zone. So we go into our coach. In front of our coach are these stallions, which represent tremendous power. And this is power at our disposal. But the thing is, if you're in your comfort zone, you're not changing, you know, you're going to go over the ravines, you're going to head into brick walls, you're going to crash and burn. The invitation always in healing your life and in becoming a super attractor and you're learning to use your power is to get out of the coach and step out and step up on the platform and begin to learn how to use your power. Ernest Holmes, who was the predecessor of all of these teachers, at least this group, said there is power for good in the universe greater than you are, of which you are a part, and you can use the power. So the invitation is to step up on the platform and take the reins of your own life and start thinking different kind of thoughts. Because your thoughts are things, and your thoughts, when believed, will begin to demonstrate in your life. So maybe you've been caught up thinking life is hard and poor me and ain't it awful and it's unfair and you've been hurt so many times, and so why does, you know, it's too late for me and too late baby, and I've lost so much and nobody knows what I've been through. And if that's the kind of self-talk you have, you're in for trouble. You might think, heck, Greg, you know, easy for you to say, but I've had a real bumpy ride, you know, and it's been tough. And regarding that stagecoach, you might think you've crashed and you've burned, you've crashed financially, emotionally, you've had tough relationships. And, you know, it's tough for many. So there is all this change coming towards you, and yet here I am in this class telling people, you know, your flexibility and your ability to thrive will depend upon your ability to adapt, and it will, okay? If you found this book, this class, The Law of Attraction, Gabby Bernstein, Louise Hay, or me, or any of us, as metaphysicians or super attractors, you know, or you're beginning to know, that you are a part of this power, and you're using this power. It's responding to you all the time. It's saying yes to you. Yes, 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 yes. It's always saying yes. Life responds to you at the level of your consciousness. If you want a greater life, a bigger life, it's about expansion and embracing the bigger ideas. So we got to learn how to drive. We got to learn how to take the reins of the coach and get out of our comfort zones of that coach and know that there's power and it's available to us. We need, and the third suggestion, the third step tonight, which is about forgiveness of self and others, we need to release the need for disturbance and release the need for conflict and release the need for worry. Knowing that all of life is responding to you, get in the habit of saying, everything's great, all is well, this is God in my life. Practice pause, stop, I'm not going there. And replace whatever those thoughts are with something more life-giving. Be still and know that you are one with the one. And the one is always, it's that quiet voice in you that's always attempting to get your attention. Be still and know that the truth of your being and in the truth of your being that all is well. And there is power, one power, and it's a part of you, and it's responding to you. This step, this practice will help you deal with the rapid changes that are coming toward you, coming towards us all. We are creating a world where nothing and no one is against us. Refuse to be offended. The third step is learning how to forgive ourselves for our mistakes. And we want to do it actively. And we want to be kinder to ourselves. And we want to be able to practice this. As we do this, it will release us so we can forgive other people as well. Louise Hay taught, she taught 35 years ago that everybody's doing the best they can with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that they have. And that's really the whole, that's it. Everybody's evolving and doing the best that they can. We have no right judging anybody else being where they are, because everyone is where they are by right of consciousness. Each of us have been through a lot, and you're victors in your own life. You've accomplished a lot, and you really ought to acknowledge yourself for what you've overcome, and have the consciousness to extend that compassion towards others. We want to develop a loving conversation with us. The most important person in the world, really, in your world, is you. And you really want to uplift that conversation and become your cheerleader, because as you really learn to love yourself, you can reflect that, and you'll lift up the whole harbor. You'll lift everyone else up. Your joy, your love, your compassion will lift everyone else up. The universe, I'm going to close with a couple ideas, is perfectly unfolding. And when we're connected, we always know this. When we take the pause that refreshes, we will reconnect with the truth of who we are and what we are. We're on a journey without a distance to a place that many of you haven't been before. Some of you go there a little bit, but we want to stay connected there more for longer periods of time.